Welcome back to Weightlifting as a Means for Learning Higher Principles. Today, I have a few thoughts about why you have no gains. Everybody's least favorite thing. Why don't I have any gains? I'm not getting any stronger. I'm not losing any weight. I'm not having any fun. Nothing's working. This doesn't work for me. That's a thing I've heard a bunch of people say. Weightlifting plus nutrition doesn't work for me. Like, yes, it does. You're not doing it right. It's not the workout, probably, that's causing you to not get any gains. It could be, but it's most likely not. It's the other little things. I want to talk about a few of the other little things in two different categories. The first being the things where you're paying all of the cost and getting none of the benefit, or very little of the benefit that you could be. And we do this a lot in our lives, and it's hard to see because we get too narrow focused on the exact tasks that we're doing, and we don't think about the greater cost that we're paying. So the example that I wanted to talk about here is something that I see a lot at the gym, and this is the example of curling tiny dumbbells. And it's not necessarily that there's anything wrong with curling tiny dumbbells. It's that there's plenty of reasons that you should do that, especially if you're working on your wrist strength or if you're doing some physical therapy or something like that. But specifically in this example, it is not an uncommon sight to see somebody who is severely out of shape. And I'll let you fill in your mind what a person like that might look like. But someone that is severely out of shape at the gym, and instead of doing whatever else they could be doing while they're there, all they are doing is curling the world's tiniest dumbbells, like the 1 to 5 pound ones. And I don't say this at all to be derogatory. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I admire these people for the vast cost that they're already paying to be in the gym. And it breaks my heart to see them getting almost no benefit for that cost. So what's the cost that they're paying? Well, first there's the actual cost of going to the gym financially, which is usually pretty steep. It's not ever cheap to have a gym membership, really. Second, they've already blocked out a huge part of their schedule to go. They are traveling to get there. They are putting on different clothing. They are going through all of these steps and trouble in order to come and to exercise with the goal of bettering themselves. And instead of doing something at the gym that would systemically benefit their whole body, like a stimulus sufficient to start some actual growth and some pretty big chain, like some sort of compound lift would be best, like a squat or a deadlift or an overhead press, something with many muscles working all at once and heavy, or at least intense, whether that's through volume or load. Those are the things that would benefit them the most. And instead, they are doing tiny curls, which they absolutely could be doing by holding a can of tuna at home and getting the same benefit, except that they wouldn't have spent an hour and a half getting ready and coming to the gym and working out. And so I'll just pause there for a second and ask, when do you curl tiny dumbbells when you should be doing squats? And there are lots of places in your life that you can think of, places where you're already paying a huge cost to be in a place. A cost in your time, a cost in your energy, a cost in your focus. And instead of maximizing the benefit that you could get out of that place, you're doing almost nothing that will bring you the benefit. I think the same thing every time I see people doing push-ups at the gym. I'm like, why don't you have a floor at home? That's not to say again that there's not a place for push-ups at the gym. It's just if you're only coming to like walk around the track and do push-ups, then I'm confused. Another example of this is when you are being actually really diligent in the way that you're working out. So maybe you have a strict program, you're lifting really heavy, you're coming multiple times a week, you're making a lot of strides there, but at home, your nutrition is just terrible. Like you're almost certainly eating too much, and you're not eating the types of foods that will uh, predispose your body for growing and maintaining muscle, which is essentially proteins with the right amino acids. So, and this, I mean, I've lived this plenty of times where you're like, I'm working out pretty hard in the gym and I feel like I'm getting stronger, but I'm not looking any different. And it's purely a nutrition thing because nutrition is 90% of your health. It's 90%. Like you can work out a lot and you can get strong, and there are obvious benefits of doing that. But if you just like eat terribly and don't think at all about what you're eating, if there's no intentionality in what you're doing, that food is going to decimate you over the long term and it will ruin your health. So don't pay 90% of the cost. Don't do that really hard workout and then go home and ruin it all because you can't not eat 10 cheeseburgers or whatever. Like, it's just not worth it. You never feel good about yourself after you do it. And I say that from complete experience. This is an experience cost. Like, if you don't waste all that hard work and don't get it confused, right? People think I can work out and then I'll be able to eat what I want. That's not how that works. You know, an average person runs for 40 minutes and burns like 160 calories. That's like not even a whole bagel. Like, relax, okay? You dial it in. The other version of this that I wanted to talk about is when you can do the little things extra and they give you a very nice return of additional benefit. So you pay 1% extra, you get 1% additional benefit. And one of these examples is racking your own weights. And so, what do I mean by racking your own weights? I have a picture of a little weight rack here. If you've never seen one before, you see these all over a gym. It's just got a bunch of different sizes of plates. And if you are doing an exercise, you go and you pick up one of these plates and you take it to your bar and you put it on and you do your thing and then you unrack it and you bring it back. Well, there's lots of people that either just leave the plates on the bar that they used for some other person to clean up, or sometimes you'll see people that are like trainers, for example, sometimes will do all of the racking and unracking of weights for the people that they're training. And this robs the person of an immense benefit over time because you don't even think about it how much weight you're moving as you pick up a 45-pound plate and walk with it over to your bar and put it on and then take it off. Like, if you thought of those things as reps, you literally are doing hundreds and hundreds of what amounts to a farmer's carry of a heavy weight over time. And because you're doing it while you move and you're doing it with fine motor movement, you're training really small things that those static bar movements aren't going to train anyway. So racking your own weights is a huge benefit to you as you are in the gym. And it can't really be overstated, but you'd never think about it because if you look at a program, it's going to say, I do 3 sets of 10 bench press. And in your mind, you think that means I lift the weights 30 times and I'm done. But you didn't think about the fact that you moved plates at least that many times while you were doing it. So there's other places in our lives where there is something that's already part of where we are that if we just paid even the smallest attention or did the smallest extra effort, we would get this massive benefit. One of those things could be talking to the guy that you sit next to at work about the thing that he knows more about than you. You're already at work and you're already sitting next to him. Figure out what he's good at and learn it from him. That, like, It's so easy. And people know a lot. A lot of people are really smart, at least about one or two things. Definitely smarter than you, and definitely smarter than me about one or two things. Some people are smart about everything. And if you find one of those people, you shouldn't let them out of your lives very easily. You should learn everything that you could from somebody like that. But again, the point is, why aren't you getting any gains? It's because you're not doing the little things and you're paying too much and not getting enough of the benefit. So I think I'll leave that there and take care.